In the previous video, we saw how every new ACT essay is really just a series of building blocks stacked one on top of the other. One of the tricks to writing an essay in 40 minutes or less is knowing how to assemble these blocks quickly into a cohesive whole. In this video, we'll walk through a sample essay from start to finish, highlighting the function of each of the major building blocks and showing, with little snippets from the essay, how that function is put into play. So, let's get to the writing. For context, we recap the prompt and the perspectives from the previous episodes of this video series. Then we present our intro and our body paragraphs and our conclusion.
Many of the goods and services we depend on daily are now supplied by intelligent, automated machines rather than human beings. Robots build cars and other goods on assembly lines where there once were human workers. Many of our phone conversations are now conducted not with people, but with sophisticated technologies. We can now buy goods at a variety of stores without the help of a human cashier. Automation is generally seen as a sign of progress, but what is lost when we replace humans with machines? Given the accelerating variety and prevalence of intelligent machines, it is worth examining the implications and meaning of their presence in our lives. What we lose with the replacement of people by machines is some part of our own humanity. Even our mundane daily encounters no longer require from us basic courtesy, respect, and tolerance for other people. Machines are good at low-skill, repetitive jobs and at high-speed, extremely precise jobs. In both cases, they work better than humans. This efficiency leads to a more prosperous and progressive world for everyone. Intelligent machines challenge our long-standing ideas about what humans are or can be. This is good because it pushes both humans and machines towards new, unimagined possibilities. Sample essay. A common theme of science fiction has been the conflict between man and machine. In the recent film, I, Robot, the protagonist, Will Smith, ends up doing battle against intelligent robots who have dropped their facade of obedient compliance and rebelled against their human masters. Today, science fiction is becoming science fact, although not to the extreme presented in the movie. Instead, we have docile machines programmed for efficiencies. Rather than running amok, today's machines are either fixed in place like ATM machines or operating as software interfaces to telephones or the internet.
So first of all, notice how the introduction of the essay sets the scene by isolating the contrast in the first sentence. And what's the contrast? The conflict between man and machine. A popular science fiction movie is used to give a graphic illustration of the problem inherent in man-machine interaction. Then, as the narrative shifts from science fiction to science fact, the emphasis is placed on some of the positive contributions machines make to human society. It's important to note that good writers always embellish their introductory paragraphs with either quotes, anecdotes, or both. Anecdotes enliven the intro by placing themes in vivid contexts, in this case, that of a science fiction movie, something people can identify with and relate to. As a writer, your job in the intro is to paint a picture that draws the reader in and pins down the topic in an interesting and provocative manner. You've got to establish context. Think of this as a pre-game sports program, where the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing teams are given dramatic overview before the game itself starts. The viewer, or in this case the reader, is pulled into the discussion and then is ready when the topic, the main point, gets broached.
But are these machines, which are programmed for fast, smart, and efficient operations, causing us to lose human perspective on events? From a personal point of view, I find myself more attached to my iPhone than to the people around me. I'd rather text than talk. Moreover, internet apps like Snapchat and Instagram don't really let people communicate deeply. These machine-driven apps are short-lived. The so-called conversation is gone before it's had a chance to develop.
The first paragraph of the sample essay supports perspective 1, which was loss of humanity, by emphasizing the short-lived and shallow nature of communication on the internet, which is itself a kind of thinking machine. Specific examples such as Snapchat and Instagram are used as examples of mundane encounters. Finally, notice the use of personal perspective in the second sentence of the paragraph. Good writers have a detailed list of perspectives to draw on in their writing style. Perspectives, points of view. Got to have a few of them in your bag of tricks, to name just a few. You can use from a financial perspective. You can use from a personal perspective. You can use from an academic perspective, from a psychological perspective, from a cultural perspective. Use your imagination. Use your creativity. You can use any and all of those to good effect in your essay. Perspectives, from your point of view, are also valuable as transitions between paragraphs and as pointers within paragraphs that help the reader better follow the arguments presented. I mentioned in a previous episode that transitions are the bread and butter of good writers. Use them liberally. The second body paragraph continues to dwell on the drawbacks of technology, particularly in the context of human interactions. For example,
things were simpler for us back when the human touch was more commonplace. Even clerks in retail stores seem to have been negatively impacted by the rise of machine technology. Some take our money and type our information into their consoles without even looking up, much less engaging us in conversation. Our mundane daily encounters with retail clerks at department stores like Sears or Walmart no longer require basic courtesy and respect. And who hasn't suffered the extreme frustration of being trapped in a phone maze where a fake computer voice directs you through an endless chain of options until you finally close in on your destination, only to be greeted with a busy signal?
From a stylistic perspective, notice how the next sentence in this paragraph gives graphic testimony to the underlying theme by drawing the reader into a universally frustrating experience, that of the phone maze. Yeah, we've all been there. Also, keep in mind, for a top-scoring new ACT essay, it's essential to provide a concession paragraph to show the reader that you can balance and appreciate both sides of an issue. The third body paragraph presents a counter-argument which starts like this.
On the other hand, intelligent machines have streamlined business operations, automating various stock market transactions on Wall Street, making the ticker tape a relic of the past. From an efficiency perspective, machines are good at high-speed, extremely precise jobs. The space program, in particular, has benefited from the rise of intelligent machines. We can now outfit space stations and send probes to Jupiter and Mars. NASA recently, with pinpoint accuracy, landed a remote spacecraft on a comet streaming through the universe at 84,000 miles per hour.
Notice the use of a transition, on the other hand, to differentiate this paragraph from the preceding one. Nice use of transitions. Transitions are important devices in guiding the reader through the sometimes turbulent waters of a pro and con essay. The concession paragraph concludes with a sentence loaded with concrete detail. Once again, one of the keys to good writing is the use of details, details, details. Can't stress that enough. More detail in your paragraph, higher the score, better the writing. The final paragraph in this sample essay does double duty. It both addresses perspective 3 and uses it to emphasize the ambiguity inherent in the prompt.
The jury, however, is still out in terms of the ultimate effect, positive or negative, intelligent machines will have on humans. For every bank teller displaced by an ATM, there's a potential opening in the bank's expanding data center. For every video store clerk displaced by Netflix, however, the outlook is not so optimistic. Unhappily, there's a downside to the progress and efficiency brought about by intelligent machines. A certain amount of economic dislocation and loss of human interaction is inevitable. Nonetheless, intelligent machines are challenging our long-standing ideas about what humans are or can be. From a cultural point of view, this opens up a new chapter in human evolution as man and machine work together towards a future of unimagined possibilities.
Notice how this paragraph sums up the arguments for and against intelligent machines, adding a few new details along the way. More details, more details. Your conclusion will always be a recap of the points made earlier in the essay. Moreover, in this case, the conclusion actually addresses the third perspective, where machines working in tandem with humans may push humans to greater unimagined possibilities. Just cherry picking that from the prompt. And it's always nice to end up with a flourish. So that's it. That's how it's done. Get these basic concepts down, and you can dominate the new ACT essay. For more details and additional sample prompts and a lot of sample essays written by my students, check out my book, How to Write a New Killer ACT Essay. It's now available on Amazon. Also, a complete sample essay is available for download on my website, tctutoring.net. For those of you who want to see the entire text on paper, there it is. So, good luck on your essays, your pursuit of college, and your career aspirations. I'm Tom Clements. Stay cool, work hard, write well.